Hey there, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Cancer full moon happening on December 29th, 2020 at 10:28 p.m. That is Eastern Standard Time. So adjust to your location on the planet. So in this chart, we're looking at the full moon at 8 degrees of Cancer, 53 minutes. We round up to 9 degrees of Cancer. That's the point in your natal chart that you want to locate, 9 degrees of Cancer, as this is where the energy is going to be felt. This is a feeling energy. This is where you're going to have an emotional opening and even a reconnection. And then you can see that it's opposing the sun in Capricorn at 8 degrees of Capricorn, 53 minutes, widely conjunct Mercury at 14 degrees Capricorn, and then we have Pluto, who is finally all alone at 24 degrees of Capricorn. So still Capricorn energies here about our workload, our commitments, what we've had to do this year, where we've had to show up, follow through, really stay diligent and aware of this part of our world. Of course, we've all felt this. We've all seen it in our lives, personally and collectively. And the Capricorn energies are the work and the tasks we have to do, but not just professionally. It's the work of our lives. It's what your life has required you to stay focused on this year. Now, this is a full moon that balances you and reconnects you to the inner world, the inner needs and the feelings that the Cancer moon activates. So if you think of Capricorn as the external world, the Cancer energy is the internal world. And it's looking at what you need right now and how to return home to yourself, where you feel safe, where you feel comforted, where there's an energy of needing a break, perhaps wanting to be alone. There's the energy here of needing hermit time, doing your own thing, and just wanting to retreat into the privacy of your inner space and your inner needs. So this is the balancing. Now, there are still 3 planets in Capricorn requiring work, effort, responsibilities, commitments. We're not off the hook. In fact, the Capricorn season is only just beginning as the sun is only at 9 degrees of Capricorn. But this is an energy here where we're still responsible, but make sure that you're also responsible for yourself and your inner needs, and that you're not doing too much for everyone else or everything around you. Now, there's some strong energies in this Cancer full moon that are influencing the energies significantly and actually adding more emotions into the mix. And so the most dramatic, I'd say, energy here is that both the sun and the moon are being squared by this Chiron that's now direct at 5 degrees of Aries. And Chiron is what we've been healing, where we've been developing courage to be more of ourselves, to get to know who you are now, to be aware of parts of your self-identity that maybe felt out of touch, you weren't aware of, but that you've been developing confidence in these areas of yourself and in your life. However, Chiron usually shows us the vulnerability first. It shows us where there's an insecurity, where there's a pain, there's something that you haven't understood or haven't embraced, and it can feel emotionally intense. And it can show you where you perhaps feel a weakness. So it's important to understand this energy because Chiron is squaring the moon and the sun. And this is an interesting square of tension where you could be feeling that there's parts of yourself that you're still working to embrace and understand. But this Cancer full moon feels it emotionally. There's an emotional need that could come to your awareness that you didn't realize you had before. There's perhaps something that comes up that even triggers an injury or an emotional fear. It triggers something that doesn't feel good right away. This can be nostalgia. It can be sentimental. And that's because the moon in Cancer often looks back. It's looking back at the past. It's looking at perhaps where you come from or childhood energies, childhood patterns. This could be looking at energy dynamics with parents, as both Capricorn and Cancer are about the parental energies that we first experience when we're growing up. There can be an energy here of just not feeling content. There's an emotional, it's like there's this emotional imprint that's being awakened that could first show up as something that just doesn't feel good. And of course, this will vary for everybody. It also depends on how well you've been working through and managing your own Chiron energies this year, especially if it's been working with you more personally. So this is an energy of maybe looking back on this year and just feeling exhausted, understandably, from everything that has transpired. Understanding some things that have changed in your life or in your world that hasn't felt good. It has an energy of melancholy or sorrow or sadness. And keep in mind, this can just come up in a fleeting way. It can come up in a very low, kind of like a low frequency. It's there, right? It's kind of like pulsing in the background. But then once you realize what it is, once you feel it and you're honoring the messages, you're honoring what it feels like, there is a shift that's possible here that's going to actually feel more supportive of what you need and where you're going. And that shift is connected to this Uranus at 6 degrees of Taurus retrograde. And this is the energy of I'm ready for change. And so that Uranus is sextiling the moon and it's sextiling the sun. And it's showing you that yes, you're different now. Life is different now. There have been permanent changes. They've been disruptive. Uranus is the energy of disruption, awakening, liberation, quick changes. And it's almost like there's a part of you that is ready for these new changes, even if you're feeling a looking back nostalgia energy at the same time. There's a part of you that is understanding a bigger picture of where you're going, even though the human heart is feeling things intensely and is maybe moving through some memories, for example, or something that you really wanted that didn't transpire. So if you're feeling any kind of loss, sorrow, melancholy, sadness, this is actually a beautiful time to honor your humanness, to honor your feelings, to honor what's really coming up for you, and to allow it to flow, because it's in the flowing that it gets released. And when the moon is in the water signs, it does a better job of flowing. And the moon is, in fact, in its home sign of Cancer. So allow it to move through you, because then it's going to be released. And there's going to be this sense of where you're going next and what matters to you next. And it's almost like the energy does move through, even if there's something that comes up that you didn't expect. There's something here that's helping you release this year. And that could be a good way to look at this Cancer full moon, is that it is releasing. It is a detox or a purging of energies that maybe you kept bottled up. And as you let it go, you're going to feel lighter. And it's going to feel like, okay, I am ready for 2021. I am ready for what is happening in my life next. Now, the other big news, of course, is that now we have Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. They are still conjunct. Jupiter is going to move ahead in January and widen his orb between Saturn. But this is an energy here of a strengthening into who you uniquely are. And Aquarius reminds us that you're designed to be an individual, and that's how your energy is made to fit with the collective. Like you are a puzzle piece that goes into the bigger puzzle. And this is showing us that it's really time to step into that. It's really time to be aware of who you are, what you've understood about yourself, especially because of 2020 and beyond, but also where you're opening up these new horizons. So as we move into January, we're going to see this Jupiter make an exact square to Uranus, and the energy is coming in now. And you can see that they are only about 4 degrees apart. So there is a square here between the planets in Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus. So it's a building square. And what I'm seeing it as, it's like there's a pressure building to be yourself, to do what you need to do, to set yourself free, to understand where a part of you has been held back and you just can't do it anymore. It's like a burst of energy that has to be released, and the tension could be mounting. It could be that you're also getting an idea of what no longer works in your life anymore, what is breaking down. What has broken down, whether that is something energetic or physical, whether that's something that you're aware of. You know, there's something here that's going to be showing you what no longer fits with the new energies. And part of this full moon is that you could be having some insights into what doesn't feel good. What doesn't feel good. And that message is a gift. And it's just the acknowledgement of, this doesn't work for me. I don't like this. This doesn't feel good. I don't feel loved. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I'm in my power. I don't feel, etc. Right? So pay attention to the feeling messages as they come up, because there could be something here that you're really meant to understand that it's just no longer in sync. It's no longer hooked up with what you want, where you're going. And it could be requiring you to develop more confidence in yourself, to do something independently, or to go your own way. There could be something that is coming up for you that you've held back on pursuing because you didn't know if you could do it. Mars is now free and clear of that square to the exact square to Pluto. So Mars is finally gaining energy in Aries to begin something new and fresh. And that energy will be increasing into January 2021. And then we also have in the chart Venus here at 18 degrees of Sag squaring Neptune at 18 degrees of Pisces. So this is an exact square. And it's interesting how the Pisces, Neptune and Pisces will always dissolve and remove. And it tends to ask us to just stay detached, to just not know. And so this Venus in Sagittarius, she wants to know her next adventure, her next direction, what feels good for her, her independence, her new start. There could be something again where you have to check in on what feels right for you and to stay detached in how it can show up and how it can come together. Because there could be something that this Venus wants. Neptune takes it away. There could be a disappointment. But you know what's supportive here is that Mercury is sextiling this Neptune and Pisces, and the sun is approaching in 10 days. 10 days, the sun will be sextiling Neptune. So there's something, it's sort of like this is some kind of dream or vision, but the Capricorn energy is about making it real. So there's something Venus wants, And at the full moon, she doesn't get it. But there's something else coming together through the Capricorn energies that will sync up with what can actually happen. It's again a reality check. That's always Capricorn. It gives us a reality check about our lives. And it can show you, okay, if this is the big dream, or this is what, you want to experience next, the next adventure, the Capricorn says, okay, this is how we're going to do it. So staying in a place of detachment and practicality is going to be key. And I feel like part of what this full moon is showing us is that it just has this big energy of letting things go. Now, it does connect to the Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse on December 14th, because this is the culmination energy. It's supporting the letting go of a cycle that I feel is very karmic, very much about the soul contracts ending, very much about releasing our attachment to specifics and to instead go to the heart. Going to what the heart needs and what feels good to the heart right now. So it can help to adjust your expectations accordingly, that this is a cleansing, it's a removal, it's a purification, it's allowing things to flow, allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up, knowing that a part of you is ready for the next chapter, the next steps, that you are bringing together the necessary components of the new direction that 2021 is going to open up, but that this is one more clearing phase, and we've had a number of them. We really have. There's been a number of these energies of letting go, of things ending, and it is an ongoing theme, but that always pays off. And that's also a part of divine timing, of the universal timing of it all, where you need to have room for the new. And we need to have energetic room, physical room, emotional room for the new. So if you can keep that in mind, it will help with whatever is changing and shifting and allow you to trust this ongoing process as you continue to trust yourself more and trust the beauty of who you're becoming and who you have become, especially throughout 2020. So I hope this has given you some good things to think about and be aware of. And for those who have asked, yes, you can still sign up for the 2021 Soul Growth Astrology Program that has the 6 webinars about the full astrology of the whole year. Check that out below this video. And I'll be back with another podcast every Monday and Wednesday, as well as more of these moon videos and other teaching videos as well. Be sure to check out my playlists here on YouTube, because I have a ton of videos for you to help you understand more about your own astrology chart as well. I wish you a beautiful closing out of 2020. Happy New Year, and I will see you again soon.